author of a book that is so timely. I don't know if you can get any more timely than this. T-minus less than 2.5 weeks before the Iowa caucus. And look at that. That is actually the title of the book. Rachel Paine Caufield is joining us and put this book together. Perfect timing.
Perfect timing.
Yes.
We started working on it last summer with the intent of releasing it right now. Of course, this is the time. So.
Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Sure. So I teach at Drake University here in Des Moines, and I came to Iowa 14 years ago from Washington D.C.
Whoa.
Thought I was leaving the center of the political universe to come out to Iowa.
So you were trying to escape.
Iowa.
Oh my goodness.
Well, I wasn't. I love Washington D.C. But
Okay.
I really, I study politics. I study elections. I study the presidency. I had heard all these kind of, urban legends about what happens in Iowa. Didn't think any of them were true. And then I came out to Iowa and I did it. And lo and behold, they are all true.
Well, if you watch media coverage, all of us wear overalls. And,
That's right.
We're all farmers.
Yep.
They all have
there are corn
tractors.
stalks on every corner.
Right. Well, someone coming from Washington, obviously you've been in Iowa for a while now.
Yeah.
What do you think? Are we as blessed as we think we are for having the Iowa caucuses?
Yeah, I think, in fact, you might be more blessed, or we might be more blessed. There is, I think all around the country there are people who would love to be able to meet a presidential candidate. And we, I think, take it for granted that we get to meet presidential candidates, not just once or twice, but we can meet every presidential candidate. I often joke that in 2008, I was going down to an event in Des Moines, here in Des Moines, and I quite literally almost ran over Joe Biden in my car. Like, you're literally just running into them on the street.
Right.
I think if you're in the state of Iowa and in your mind you said, I want to meet somebody who's running for president, and you don't do that, you just haven't tried.
That's exactly right. And in some cases, you run into them without trying. You go to the farmer's market and there's a presidential candidate, or you attend your church service and there's a presidential candidate.
There was one guy in the news that said he didn't know who he was going to vote for because he's only met everybody about 8 times.
That's
so
right. Yeah. That's right.
Yeah.
So what do you say about people who say it doesn't matter what happens with the Iowa caucus, or they're trying to take over as the first in the nation status from us? What would you say to people that are having that argument?
Well, every state wants to go first. Every state wants the benefits that Iowa has. I don't blame them for that, of course. It's very much an exceptional role that we play, and there's no other political environment like this anywhere. This is it. This is ground zero for real people expressing their concerns. And I guess one of the things that I would say is, I don't think that there are that many states where any candidate on either side of the political spectrum could find voters to support them, right? Like, one of the unique things about Iowa is we have competitive politics, not just Democrats and Republicans, but we have a wide range of ideologies in both parties. So you can come to Iowa and little-known candidates without a lot of money or name recognition can meet voters, talk about real issues, talk about real concerns that they have about our country, and I think in many ways it's a great antidote to the cynicism that we see in our political system today.
Well, let's talk about the caucuses, because you made an interesting point before we started the segment, and that is that you're surprised people don't try both caucuses, both
Sure.
Democratic and Republican. People usually just pick their party, they go experience that, and they're done. And you're saying no. Experience both sides.
I mean, go see other caucuses, and any caucus meeting all across the state of Iowa, they have a section for observers. So even if it's not your precinct or your party, you can observe a caucus.
Because they do them in 2 different ways.
They do.
They really do.
Yeah, and I think the rules are vastly different for Democrats and Republicans. And I think one of the things that amazes me is the number of people who have been doing this since 1972, but they've only ever caucused with their party. So they don't know that the other party does it differently. And so, I was speaking to a longtime Republican who's been attending Republican caucuses and thought that she might go to a Democratic caucus because she hears that they're different. She'll be amazed. I mean, the Democrats totally different world.
I agree.
It's more of a social group setting.
It really is. It's so interactive, and
it's like a little a cheering session. I was so terrified of Hillary being president in 2008 that I'm a conservative. I went to the Democratic caucus and caucus for Obama. This isn't working out for me at all.
Yeah, really. Yeah.
But it was
Really
fun to
backfired.
see the differences. It really was.
Democratic caucuses are loud. They are incredibly interactive. They are, I mean, very participatory. Everybody gets up out of their seats and moves around and talks to each other. In contrast, I was
Here's a Republican one.
Yeah, that's exactly right. That's right.
Yeah.
I'm done.
And hopefully they
I'm
counted
done.
correctly.
Let's count now.
Let's talk about the book here. What can people experience? Because I mean, if you pick up the Des Moines Register now, it's political after political article. So why do people need to pick up this book and find out more about the Iowa caucuses?
Well, so my goal with the book was to really provide images that gave people a picture of what happens in Iowa. I can sit and I can tell you about the political environment in Iowa. I can sit and I can tell you about, such and such a candidate went to a house party. But unless you've actually been to a house party, and let's face it, very few people have gone to a house party with a presidential candidate.
Right.
So it gives you a chance to see what a house party actually looks like. What do community party meetings look like? What do some of these small group sessions with candidates, with surrogates, with party leaders, what do we see on the campaign trail every day? And it's easy to forget that this really is just an incredibly vibrant political environment, and we're lucky to have it.
Take advantage of it in a couple of weeks,
Everybody
definitely.
should be, over the next 2.5 weeks,
this
going
is
to
on
every
Amazon. What
candidate
about
event
locally?
they can.
Where can we get this locally?
It's at Beaverdale Books, and I will be at the Drake Diner this coming Saturday, and then I'll be at Barnes & Noble on January 30th.
And if nothing else, you get a very young Tom Harkin.
That's right.
There you go. Look at
There are
Tom
some wonderful
in his
photos in
prime
there.
right here. There you go. There you go, Tommy.
I was going to say,
Very young
my kind of
Tom
book, a lot of great visuals in there,
That's
but
right.
also you learn some wonderful history about the Iowa caucus and how truly we are blessed to have this right here in our great state.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming
Thank
in.
you very
you.
much.
All right, have fun at the caucus.
Oh, it'll be wonderful.